will probably be in the 10, 11 foot range. So that's going to be a birdie try for Hudson Swafford, trying for 3 in a row. Right now he's -4 playing the par 5 12th.
Yeah, just a wedge in his hand there. You would expect to hit it close, and good shot there by Hudson.
Yeah, and trying to get on a run, and that's been the key. Even the back nine, tougher back nine, and you get through that stretch if you're teeing off on the front nine. The tough par 3 at 9 to wrap things up on the front, and 10 and 11, maybe some opportunities for these golfers coming in. And still, so far today, the end of the Devil's Elbow at 18. That's par 4 is playing as the easiest hole in the back nine right now. 26 birdies there so far today.
You wouldn't think so. I mean, that's whole 500 yards. You wouldn't think holes like that would be that easy, but again, it might be conditions, the wind, how it's that whole location there out at 18 is kind of in the middle right hole location, so obviously accessible for these players.
In relation to par, it's playing easier than the first par 5 in the back, the 12th hole. So far, only 29 birdies at number 12. There have been so far today 27 birdies now at 18. And fewer bogeys so far at that 18th hole, which is part of why that's playing easier than even one of the par 5s on the back nine. So the Devil's Elbow with a little bit of a break coming in. You got to get through 16, 17, the par 4 at 16, par 3 at 17th, and that dramatic finish as you play over Corrales Bay coming in at 18, which on Sunday may decide this golf tournament, but today seems a little bit more forgiving than in the past at this point.
Maybe we need to get that elbow a little greased there, Earl.
Don't talk about elbows. And just got through a tough baseball season in D.C. with a lot of problems, so you don't want any elbow problems there. A lot of players do have that coming in on the Devil's Elbow at the Corrales Golf Course at Puntacana Resort and Club for this third event of the PGA Tour season and a different place on the schedule. So this week, again, it will be 500 FedEx Cup points, full FedEx Cup points to the winner, and win gives you an invitation, if you need it, to the Masters coming up in April, next year's Masters, not this year's Masters, the second one of the season in April at Augusta.
Interesting, as I look at the leaderboard, again, we tend to be able to see patterns among players, and there's really, of course, a lot of these guys, most of these guys hit it a long way now, but there's no real set pattern. I mean, you see a guy there like Zach Blair up there at 4 under. Cameron Percy is not a guy that hits it a long way. So it's again, too hard to kind of figure it out yet.
Let's go down to Bill Rosinski.
And now just inside 10 feet, Hudson Swafford with a birdie try here at the par 5 12. Sends this up to the cups, going to turn to the right, and that would not drop. He looks disgustingly at the end result of that putt. Boy, you like to take advantage of these par 5s. He's going to finish up here. That would have gotten him to 5 under par, but instead, going to circle around here and knock that in. That's a 5 on the card for Swafford. He remains -4.
Yeah, that was a pretty good putt that didn't drop. It just hung right there on that left edge, Earl, and he looked befuddled, as Bill mentioned there, but pretty good effort there.
Well, and that is, not been an easy par 5 today. He's playing only a shade under par, 4.89. And I mentioned 9 bogeys there. There have been 4 doubles at that 12th hole today, that par 5. So you may not realize that there are a lot of players that would take a par there, and it's not really going to hurt you too much making a par at that par 5. And you got the one coming up a couple of holes later at 14. There's been an eagle and 29 birdies at that one. So certainly out of the 4, 12 has been the tougher of all the par 5s today.
Yeah, the challenge there really, that whole location's in the back of the green at the 12th hole. It's on 37 back, so it's back up on a little plateau, so there's an upslope there, and a lot of players probably getting a little too much spin on it, and then obviously spinning back towards the middle of the green.
Yeah, it's a warm, very humid day. It's been like this for the week coming in. Sunshine right now, but it's it's uncomfortably humid for these players. I mean, the heat index probably around triple digits, around 100 degrees or so. It has been. So you have to deal with that today on really, just looks like a terrific golf course in great shape. And obviously those runs are out there. You can make a bunch of birdies. You have to.
Well, I think that's sort of as what you're seeing, as you pointed out. Players know on the front nine they've got to take advantage of those 2 par 5s, but There's some hard holes, but as we've seen, golf is interesting. It doesn't always stick to the patterns. This is a golf course that's playing under par. I mentioned, earlier that there were 61 players at 1 under or better. Now, as I look at or I should say at 2 under or better, and currently now there's 68 players at 2 under or better. So right now, the cut line is at 2 under. And again, a year ago, the PGA Tour changed its cut line policy and rules where it's now 65 in ties. There's no secondary cut. There's no top 70 in ties. So right now, the cut line under par at 2 under with 68 players at 2 under or better.
And for today, so far in round one, nearly 100 players under par, 94 of them right now in red numbers, with the leader 7 under. Sepp Straka, after a 65 PGA Tour radio coverage of the season-long points race for the FedEx Cup, continues round one on a Thursday, the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship. Round one, a warm, sunny Thursday at Corrales Golf Course, the Puntacana Resort and Club for round one of the Puntacana Resort and Club Championship. Earl Forsey with our analyst Mark Carnevale and our PGA Tour radio team, covering an area of nearly 19,000 square miles, population of over 10.5 million people. The Dominican Republic is the second largest country in the Caribbean, behind only Cuba, and the population grows by a bunch of PGA Tour pros trying to win a golf tournament this week. Third event of the PGA Tour season, 144 players in the field this week, led by Sepp Straka right now, who is in early with the 7 under 65, and right now that's still in the lead. But Scott Harrington's one of those on the course, has gotten now within 1 of the lead, scoring still good, Will.
Well, there was a great start for David Hearn in this first round. He's hoping for a great finish. It was 3 under through his first 7. Nothing but pars since, but just played a gem here at the par 4 15th hole up the hill. Second shot, put it right at about 10 feet. He's arrived at the green. He'll start surveying his birdie putt. David Hearn with a great look to get the -4.
You just want to keep giving yourselves those opportunities. You mentioned Dominican Republic, but along with tourism, agriculture is a key part of the country. The economy here in the Dominican Republic. The main crops produced are sugar, rice, bananas, coffee, lemons, oranges, cocoa, tobacco, and coconuts.
And a lot of great golf as well. And these players playing the Corrales course. You mentioned Carney, Pete Dye designs, the Teeth of the Dog course at Casa del Campo. And there was a new one, Casa del Campo, the much-acclaimed Dye 4 course, opened in 2000, about an hour west of Punta Cana along the southern coast of the Dominican Republic. So a lot of terrific golf, and a tournament now that's been played here on the PGA Tour for now a third straight year. 5 years in a row. It started as a event on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2016. Dominic Pizzelli a winner. Nate Lashley won 2017. Then Bryce Garnett, and last year Graham McDowell, and all those players back to see if they can do it again. Obviously, GMAC off to a 2 under start this week, could become the first repeat winner at the Punta Cana Resort and Club Championship.
Well, it just shows you, obviously, Earl, that was part of the Corn Ferry Tour, and PGA Tour, Latino America, plays events down in South America, and obviously plays some events in the Caribbean. But it shows you with all the tours, the PGA Tour China, the Mackenzie Tour, PGA Tour Canada, all the feeders of the Corn Ferry Tour, and it gives an opportunity. And the tour, saw this venue and obviously liked what it did for the Corn Ferry Tour, and gave it a chance to be a part of the PGA Tour. And obviously the people at Puntacana, wanted to be part of the PGA Tour. I mean, we're in some degree with the Corn Ferry Tour, obviously under the umbrella, but they want to be in the limelight, and now they have it as a full-fledged, full FedEx Cup points this year.
Yeah, this course, Corrales course, one of 26 golf courses in the Dominican Republic. One of the reasons it's so popular with tourists and makes it the most visited country in the Caribbean, welcoming over 6 million people each year. And part of this return to golf, which started back in June when the PGA Tour season restarted and continued on as scheduled. And this is one of those events that was canceled due to the pandemic and the COVID-19 shutdown for a few months on the PGA Tour. So it's back this week in the fall for the first of two showings on the PGA Tour schedule, the wraparound schedule. It'll be played its normal spot in March again in 2021, but it's very good to see this event back and in a little bit different place. And it's the first of two for Puntacana for this wraparound schedule this season, and this week the unique feature for this tournament, full FedEx Cup points. So all these tournaments being played, that's why it's so important, these 12 events in the fall, to get off to good starts.
Well, certainly a different, weather sort of scenario. Obviously in the spring, maybe a little bit better. Obviously, you get into the fall, you got hurricane season, and looks like we'll avoid that, which is a good thing.
Pat Perez for birdie at the 12th. That's up to the hole and just off the left side. And he looks skyward. Pat Perez, that 20-footer, had a lot of pace on it. Perhaps a tad less, it would have dropped for the birdie. For Pat Perez, he will remain 2 under par.
Let's go to Will Haskett.
We're David Hearn surveying I wouldn't say much needed birdie. It's Thursday. He's got a good round going, but just hasn't given himself a lot of really good looks the last 2 hours or so. Downhill putt, just inside of 10 feet here at the par 4 15th hole. One of 2 holes on the property, I might add, that actually has 2 greens. There's a lower green through the valley. This fairway actually wise splits about 50 yards short of both putting surfaces. We will not play the lower green all week, just this green up the left-hand side. Hearn was ready to go and then did not like the way his ball was aligned. Coin back up. Hearn walks into a birdie look down the slope. Should move a little bit gently from his right to left. Hearn jiggles a little bit of tension out of the upper body. Now grabs the lower level of the putter for a couple of practice strokes. A couple of inches closer to the ball. Now slides the putter behind it. Hearn strokes it down the line, turning over left, and that one misses. Well, he didn't like the contact immediately, and another birdie opportunity has been squandered. Great start, 3 under through 7, and nothing since. All pars, -3, heading to 16.
Well, there's a young player who was a sponsor's exemption at 4 under par, Alex Smalley, who played at Duke University, Monday qualified for the 2020 Waste Management Phoenix Open, where his mom, Maria, caddied for him. If he missed the cut, he also missed the cut as an amateur in his only other PGA Tour start at the 2017 U.S. Open, but as a sponsor exemption, taking advantage of that opportunity.
And other sponsors' invitation exemption is also in that group at 4 under. Thomas Detry of Belgium, who shot 68 today, Bill.
Perfect, yeah.
Well, Hudson Swafford playing the par 4 13th. So this was the toughest hole on the golf course a year ago. It's not a long par 4, but one of the narrower fairways you will find. It dog legs a little bit to the left. There, if you lose it right off the tee, there are 3 huge bunkers waiting to gobble up the golf ball. And if you miss it left, there's a grove of small palm trees that'll get in your way. No problem for Swafford. He's in the middle of the fairway. In the middle hole location today, and he takes it right above the flag. That is nicely done. He's inside 8 feet. That's going to be a testy little downhill birdie putt for Hudson Swafford, but a chance to get to 5 under.
And that's a guy playing on a major medical, Earl, and played in that last season. That continues at the moment for the 2020-2021 season, but former winner of the American Express.
Scott Harrington has the round of the afternoon going so far. 6 under par. That's thanks to the eagle on the par 5 4th hole. Followed up with a par at the par 4 5th. But so far, Scott Harrington 6 under par. The card is clean with 4 holes to play.
So some heat on the leader. At least we may get someone to catch that 7 under 65 fired earlier today by Sepp Straka. Right now, Harrington 1 of 3. Tied for second at -6. You mentioned Hudson Swafford on a major medical, Carney. Only 2 starts, 2 events left in that major medical, so it's go time for him. It's an important week.
Absolutely it is. I mean, it's, there's no time better than the present, and some of that status will run out if they don't make sure he has to earn the same amount of FedEx Cup points as Pat Perez did in the 2018-2019 season in order to retain his exempt status.
Yeah, a little more than 105 points. FedEx Cup points is what he needs, so doesn't have to win the tournament. I mean, a good week and put yourself in contention. could take care of it for a guy like that, one of the many, hoping to take advantage of these early season opportunities in event number 3 of 50 on this wraparound schedule, this FedEx Cup regular season.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any trend here, and you got a mixture of some veterans, you got a mixture of some young guys, guys that haven't really been in the mix much. You got certainly winners, Nate Lashley, Mackenzie Hughes sitting there, Ricky Barnes, a guy that won the U.S. Amateur but never won on the PGA Tour, but had a fairly lengthy career on the PGA Tour. Jonathan Bird there, so it doesn't seem to favor anybody in particular, Earl.
No, there is, I think we see a lot of the familiar names as far as this tournament goes and guys who have had past success. You mentioned one, Nate Lashley, the win the second of last year was a Corn Ferry Tour event, finished 20 under par for a one-shot win, winner on the PGA Tour. So he's one of the many off to good starts so far this week. One of those 68s, which has been the popular number, 4 under par so far for the day, while we've had lower. That's a tie for 8th, 12 players, including those on the course right now at 4 under par. So that's kind of probably where you want to be opening the week, Carney. 68, 69, somewhere in there at 3, 4 under.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, 18 under par, winning the first two events. Again, you would think it would be similar. But again, it's a different time of year, so maybe it might be lower than that, based on the fact of we've seen some pretty early low scores early on. But as golf tournaments play on, they tend to get a little tougher once you get into the weekend.
And a guy that shot 62 on this course back in 2016 on the Corn Ferry Tour, Scott Harrington, won in the afternoon. That's gotten close to the lead, one shot back. Harrington at 6 under, tied for second with Sepp Straka in front, 7 under pars. We continue coverage of the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship, third event of 50 on the FedEx Cup regular season on PGA Tour Radio.
Qualified for the PGA Tour last season, sponsors exemption. Will Gordon shoots a 1 over par, 73.
This week, the path of the PGA Tour is at Crestview Country Club in Kansas for the Wichita Open, supporting Wichita's youth, one of the 4 original tournaments still remaining from the 1990 launch of the Corn Ferry Tour. 3 players share the first round lead at 7 under par. Marty Doe, Jared Wolf, and Billy Tom Sargent. 2 players, 1 shot back at 6 under, Brad Hopfinger and Taylor Dixon.
Local IQ Series, an alternative this year for players impacted by the canceled seasons on the PGA Tour's free international circuit. Second half of the schedule underway this week. The Jacksonville Championship, round 2 today, Hidden Hills Golf Club in Jacksonville, Florida. Rowan Carone shoots back-to-back 66s. He's in front, 10 under par with 3 players. Scott Wolfs, Leandro Morelli, and Bryson Nimmer tied for second at 9 under par and just 1 shot back. Kevin?
At the par 4-6, Scott Harrington inside 15 feet for birdie. A chance to reach 7 under, just hole high right. Strokes the ball rolling towards hole. Good line. Down it goes. Scott Harrington moves to 7 under par.
Interesting enough, Scott Harrington, 98th on the FedEx Cup points list last season. He did have 1 top 10. So Harrington, one of those players, maybe using this event as an opportunity, Earl, to pick up his first PGA Tour win.
Well, and there's our theme, at least for the week, Carney. Guys who have played here before and played well, and obviously Harrington knows how to play really well, holds a share of the event record, the course record, 18-hole record, 62. That was on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2016, and going low today, gets that tying birdie. So that run for him on the front 9 tells a story. Good start on the back, has kept it going and cranked it up on the front 9. Now another par 5 coming up at 7, maybe with a chance to jump in front.
As you indicated, maybe a bit of an easier finish on the front 9 with that par 5 there at the 7th. So opportunity possibly for Scott Harrington to get to 8 under par, maybe lower than that.
And the theme for the co-leaders, too, both of them, Straka and Harrington, eagles at that par 5 at the 4th today. Now, the one thing Straka did not do coming in on the front 9, did not birdie 7, the only par 5 where he didn't make at least a birdie or better. So he did birdie 8 coming in to get it to 7 under and eventually capped off to 65. So Harrington, who obviously has taken advantage of the par 5s, on the back nine, birdied 14, has that eagle at the fourth hole. Now has a chance to take advantage of one more, maybe to move in front and grab the lead here on a Thursday.
It's certainly something players pay attention to, Earl. I think, nowadays you talk about the guys that hit it a long way, and it doesn't necessarily apply to every player, but you still feel like you have to give yourself a decent amount of opportunity to make birdies or better on par fives if you're going to have a good week.
At the par 4 13th, Charles Howell III, 2 under par. He'll be chipping from just short of the putting surface. It's a front hole location today. His tee ball was left, had to pitch it out, and with wedge will play this nice and low as he bumps it in the green. That's tracking now, moving towards the right and a bit short. It's in that 5-foot range to say par for Charles Howell III to remain 2 under.
Yeah, trying to keep a solid day going for Charles Howell, 2 under par, tied for 36. And again, that's a large tie for 36 because 1 under's tied for 71st. And, you're in a range there. We'll see what happens with scores on Friday. But with so many birdies being made today and nearly 100 players, almost 95 players right now under par, 2 unders kind of just keeping your head above water so far in day one at Corrales.
And Charles Howell III, one of the 4 players who played last week and made the cut and is playing here. Charles finished tied for 30th at Winged Foot in the U.S. Open. That was the 12th U.S. Open that Charles played in, and his 9th cut made, so coming off a decent week and trying to carry that momentum here this week.
Pat Perez playing alongside Charles Howell III with that left-hand low grip outside of 25 feet for birdie, racing towards the cup, and then dives to the left, the low side of the hole for Pat Perez. It'll be a couple feet for his cleanup par to remain 2 under.
And a lot of these players starting to get up in age a little bit, Earl, and trying to extend their careers. Pat, of course, former winner. His last win came at the McCumber Golf Classic a few years ago. But Pat Perez, again, one of those guys, a common theme to some of these players that we're seeing play well this week.
And part of our afternoon coverage on a Thursday, the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship, the Corrales course at Puntacana Club and Resort, one of the top-rated courses in all the Dominican Republic, and now for a 3rd straight year, home to the PGA Tour. It was a Corn Ferry Tour event a couple of years before that. So a 5th straight year PGA Tour golf's being played 3rd straight year. It is a PGA Tour event a couple of years before that on the Corn Ferry Tour, and early opportunities. And this year, because of the shift in the schedule and not being played in March, being played as part of this early schedule, the full 500 FedEx Cup points to the winner. So a chance a guy like Straka or Scott Harrington can move in that top 5 very quickly.
I mentioned Pat Perez. He actually won the McCumber Golf Classic back in 2017. He won the 2018 CIMB Classic in Malaysia after that. So his most recent win was back in 2018.
Yeah, and that was, of course, in the fall section of the schedule as well. And those are the opportunities that all these players are looking for with the fall FedEx Cup points. Super critical this year with 50 events and 12 of them in 2 majors before we hit the holiday break, Kevin.
And Charles Howell III taking a long look at this short par saver from below the hole. Wants to make sure he has a line right here after watching Kevin Chappell's putt go over the right edge. This turned up left to right to the center and down for Charles Howell III. Read it right. He'll remain 2 under heading to the 14th hole.
Yeah, solid par save there for Charles. So a guy that understands it takes 72 holes to win the event, in no hurry to try to make sure he's close to the lead at the moment.
Player in the afternoon, not only close to the lead, tied for the lead. Scott Harrington on a big-time run on the front 9. 3 birdies and an eagle coming in on the front 9. He's caught Straka atop the leaderboard, 2 at 7 under, as PGA Tour radio coverage from the Dominican Republic continues at the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship.
continue with first-round coverage here at the Corrales Golf Course, the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship. And car horns are interesting here. Literally, they have their own language in the Dominican Republic where residents use them consistently. One short beep means I'm here or get a move on. Two short beeps mean I'm coming past, while two long beeps mean get out of my way. I used to live outside New York. There were no beeps used there, just shouts and finger pointing, but I guess you get the same result. Hudson Swafford, who is 4 under par after the birdie he made, 5 under par after the birdie he made at the 13th, a tough par 4. Here at the par 5 14th, this plays over 600 yards. It's a dogleg left. Hit in the rough on his tee shot, laid up. He'll be in a wedge range here from some 120 yards away for his third shot. But having a good round of golf, one bogey on the card, and he's to 5 under, looking to pick up a few more coming home here and maybe catch our leaders.
Which are the co-leaders. No stopping for Scott Harrington in the afternoon. He has caught Straka with a big-time run on the back 9, his second 9, the front 9. Made the turn to 2 under, so played well on the more difficult of the 2 9s. A back 9 today, playing only just a shade under par, barely that, 35.96. Front 9's where the scoring's been. That's what Scott Harrington has done so far. Mark Carnival making up a lot of ground on Straka, who also finished with a eagle in that front 9, his second 9 to shoot 65. So those are our 2 right now on a Thursday, 7 under. Kevin Sylvester.
Perez stepping in for his tee ball at the par 5 14th. Have to carry it over. There's a little pond in front, but that's really not in play. Fairway bunkers, the issue. Charles Howell III found one, and Pat doesn't like it as it's headed towards one of the fairway bunkers. But not going to make it. It does find the fairway, so able to clear the water and in the fairway. Let's go to Will Haskett.
Thank you, Kevin. 515 yards, a definitely gettable par 5 for Scott Harrington, who's already gotten one on this front side. Now playing the par 5 7th, just an iron in hand to a middle right hole location to try and reach the screen in 2. Back towards the ocean and into the breeze. Harrington, an upright stance. Ball in the middle of the stance for Harrington. Very quick tempo takeaway, drives through it, but this one is turning over to the left-hand side. And that one is going to miss, I believe, long and left here of the green. That ball hopped up and over into a collection area. That maybe need a little bit of a double cross. And Harrington looking back at his caddy, wondering what might go up there. There is actually a red stake penalty area if you're really long and left. I did not see that ball down. The contact was bad. The reaction was bad. And that normally means that everything's pretty bad. So we'll put the APB out on the ball of Scott Harrington here at the par 5 7th.
One good thing, though, is that the whole location's kind of middle right. So if he is misted left, he'll have plenty of green to try to get that ball close and pick up a birdie.
And you need the birdies today when scoring is good, especially for those atop the leaderboard. A couple of 7 under par rounds lead it. Scott Harrington still with 3 to play on the front 9. Straka in early with that 65, Bill.
And now Hudson Swafford talked about his tee shot here at the par 5 14th hole, laid up, and now to a middle right hole location, plays this third, and that's not very good. That's a false front there, and that's going to roll down the slope. That's not what he was looking for there. Might get a little chunky on that shot with the wedge. We'll see if he can still make a par here.
Well, that's not going to be good at all, considering with just a wedge in his hand, some sort of sand wedge, and Hudson will not be happy with that.
No, playing well, though, in this back 9 again. I mean, what a great start on the back 9 for him. 3 birdies in the first 4. And Carney mentioned how difficult all day. 10 and 11 are playing the 2 of the 3 toughest holes, and the par 3 at the 11th, the toughest hole today. So to start like that on the back 9, it's been as good for anyone, really, for Hudson Swafford today, at least starting on that back 9.
Well, I think that as a player, goes through the round, you get some momentum, you get the feeling, and if you hit correct golf shots, I mean, all these holes are gettable. You just tend to look at the yardage a lot, kind of the contour and the slope of all these the greens, and you feel like, okay, I can take advantage of one here. But if you're hitting the ball well, you can take advantage of all of them.
Yeah, a lot of these players would love to. Some breeze, obviously, as you'd expect. A lot of these oceanside courses, holes, not all of them, but will be a factor. But so far today, I mean, you're going to get them, the breezes, but nothing that's holding scores down so far, really early or late, it seems, Carney, today.
Yeah, it's interesting. We don't play too many Tom Fazio designed courses. My memory serves me right on the PGA Tour, Earl. But he's a great designer. He's a classic designer, and he has done a lot of resort courses. And obviously, it's a resort course here at the Puntacana Resort and Club. But he does a little different things than we see a lot of the designers at the courses that the tour plays. But again, he gives you opportunities if you execute proper golf shots.
And so far today, for early or late, it doesn't matter for the players. The opportunities have been there with the co-leaders, one in early, Seb Straka, and now one late as Scott Harrington finishes things off, and he's got 3 to play. And for him, one of those 3 coming in, you've got a par 5, so a great chance possibly for him after making an eagle here already in that other front 9 par 5 at the 4th hole. A good chance for Scott Harrington, who does have a 62 in this course. 4 years ago, 2016, to possibly pull in front late on a Thursday, Bill.
Well, Hudson Swafford not happy with that little wedge shot he had into this 14th green, the par 5. He's just on the very front of the putting surface, and this is some 40 feet uphill for birdie. So going to have to give this a wrap, and if you go past the hole, it's downhill, so you got to be careful. Up the slope it comes, has a good-looking putt. This could fall, and does, right in the heart. How about that? Hudson Swafford from downtown. Excellent. That's another birdie. How about 4 in the first 5 holes on the back 9? He's to 6 under.
Yeah, that was an unlikely one there. Even that brought a smile to Hudson's face. Maybe he shouldn't have converted that one, but that's how golf is kind of funny sometimes, Earl. You never can expect when good things are going to happen, and that was a good thing that happened there, the Hudson Swafford.
I mean, Carney, who expected to see someone go out in the afternoon, birdie 4 the first 5 on the back 9? That's what Hudson Swafford's done now, and continues moving up that leaderboard with a great one there, and 6 under. He's 1 shot back. Will Haskett.
Earl, it's gone from bad to worse for Scott Harrington here at the par 5 7th. A shot that I did not see down, really no one saw perfectly down. He tugged it well left, and I'm talking 40 yards left of the green with a long iron here at the par 5. It went over the second of 2 bunkers down the left side of this hole and up into a grassy area with a thick bush that is right in front of him. And this grass is so thick and so dense, almost impossible to find the actual golf ball. He would have been luckier had he gone a little bit left of that target, left of the cart path, because you at least know that it is a red-marked penalty area. Harrington has almost used his allotted 3 minutes, but has now gone into the bushes, and I believe has found a golf ball that he's trying to identify right now as his. If it is, I don't think he has a swing to get it out. It would have to take an unplayable. The problem with the unplayable is 2 club lengths is going to keep him in the heavy grass. Same line backwards to the hole is going to put the bush right in front of him with nowhere to drop, which brings you back to having to go back to hit the shot again as one of your options. So Harrington is still looking to try and identify the ball. They have identified the ball. It's in a bush right stymied behind a palm tree. Who knows what's going to come of Harrington's travails here at 7?
Well, just unfortunate they're offline, and when we play courses like this, we see it at the El Camaleon. Earl, when you get offline, you got those mangrove trees. You got to be careful. There's plenty of fairway out there to hit it in, plenty of room around these greens, but you make a mistake like that, you're going to pay.
Boy, and for him today, he's been so good driving the golf ball, and he's on that run here with 3 birdies and an eagle in a 6-hole stretch, co-leader going to a par 5, and that happens, and now you're just hoping not to maybe lose a share of the lead at 7 under.
Yeah, golf is not always about where you hit your good shots, Earl. It's about where you hit the bad ones and how you can play those, and it looks like Scott Harrington's going to have some trouble playing his 3rd shot there at that par 5.
Well, how much trouble, Will?
He is not going to be able to play it. They have, I do not believe, actually found the golf ball. Earl, his caddy's still looking for it, but they are all at least in agreement as a group that the ball is indeed in there. And when it is in there, Even if he was taken unplayable, you have to be able to identify it. So now we're going to the lost ball route, and Scott Harrington is starting to make the lonely walk back to where he originally played his second shot to play his fourth shot now here at the par 5 7th.
Well, you're going to muster the strength to not only get back there, but then kind of calm yourself to hit a good shot, because you don't want to make that mistake again.
No, I mean the par 5 there at 7, 5 bogeys today with the 5 eagles and 52 birdies. There hasn't been anything worse than bogey, but man, Scott Harrington certainly has put himself in position where he's going to have to pull up a great fourth shot to avoid.
Fly it high at times you need, but able to bring it down to hit some penetrating shots, and maybe no one does it better, as you said, than Charles Howell III.
And Pat Perez to play his third from below the hole left at the par 5 14th. And that pitch shot will hop twice and then catch some Velcro and stop. It's below the hole, can have an aggressive putt, but he is not happy with that effort. He expected to get that inside of 10 feet. Instead, he'll be closer to 20.
Pat's one of those guys, again, from that position. Green was elevated there. You would have liked to have given yourself a little bit better look than that.
Yeah, some of the struggles on this back nine, just looking at numbers, is the amount of double bogeys. There's been at least one double on every hole so far on the back nine, which means even the par 5s have had double bogeys. In fact, there have been 4 doubles at the 12th hole, the par 5. So that's, one of the factors, I guess, keeping scoring from not getting too low in the back nine. You got to be careful, Will.
Well, the beauty of strokes gained, Earl, is that you know what that value is. We immediately say double bogey, you think, oh, you're losing 2 shots. Well, if it's on the hardest hole on the golf course, sometimes that's not actually the case. Scott Harrington's trying to avoid a number here at the par 5 7th, and if he does not convert from outside of 35 feet, it will be a 6, a bogey 6, which will feel like a double on the easiest hole on the golf property today. Walked halfway up the line, trying to at least stay in a little bit of rhythm, knowing how slow this hole has taken. Narrow stance for Harrington. Putter behind the golf ball. Strokes it with a lot of pace. Outside right, climbing the hill, turning left, and this is immediately drying up short into the right-hand side for Harrington. It will be at least a bogey for Harrington, who still has a few feet left for the 6 here at 7.
And the bogey there will certainly, assuming he converts that, will certainly feel like he's made a big number when he had just an iron into the green.
No doubt about that. And what a huge bogey putt now on a par 5 for Harrington, who's going to lose at least a piece of the lead. Kevin.
And Pat Perez is taking time with the line on this birdie attempt at the par 5 14th. Looks a little different. You may recall, I believe it was the Wyndham Championship where he was part of a charity match on the Wednesday, and he had the Fu Manchu mustache, long locks, finally got his hair cut. Here's a stroke from outside of 15 feet, rolling up, and he's tugged that, then also moved a little bit right to left, and the pace will bring that a couple of feet above the hole. He'll walk around for the quick finish here, and disappointed to walk off the 14th green with a par to remain 2 under.
Let's go back to Will Haskett.
Just a couple of feet for Scott Harrington, but it feels like so much more. His insides churning after the disaster of this hole. Arrived here with shades of perhaps matching his low round from a few years ago on the Korn Ferry Tour. Won't get to 10 under par today. Strokes the bogey putt outside right, hooks left and into the bottom. So it ends up being a bogey 6 for Harrington with a lost ball here at the par 5. Harrington falls back to 6 under as he heads to 8.
Yeah, that just hurts. Pat Perez there. It was funny as Kevin was calling that putt. His longtime caddy, Mike Hartford, was pointing to a spot that was well right of line that Pat chose. So they were definitely not in sync on that hole.
Doing it his way, and I'm sure Pat wins that every time. He's going to do it the way he wants to, and, a solid start so far in the afternoon where 2 under par is not going to hurt you, but you'd hope to pick up maybe 1 or 2 more coming in, and those players on the back nine, they're going to have the 16, 17, 18 stretch, the Devil's Elbow alongside the water to finish things up, even though that the 18th, still I was looking at scores. Now things have changed a little bit. 15 is now playing as the easiest hole, the back nine, but still 27 birdies today coming in at 18. So that finish, the end of the elbow, has been an opportunity to pick one up coming in at 18. Bill?
Well, let's see, Earl, if Hudson Swafford can put another birdie on the card here on this back nine. He's played 5 holes. He's got 4 birdies, 6 under for the day. Another short iron into this par 4 15th green. And if you can get it inside CT Pan's second shot, it'll be in the cup. Pan almost jarred it. Got a front hole location. Don't be short here. And he has not. That actually goes a little bit too long. That goes on the back tier of the screen. So he's going to have a birdie try, but that's outside 30 feet, and that's going to be a downhill tester for Hudson Swafford. Good round going. He's -6.
He's over there, Hudson over there on that 15th hole, a par 4, 421. But again, just don't want to make a mistake, and he'll have a chance to pick another one up.
And back at that 14th, Charles Howell III was able to complete what was a great third shot into that short tap-in birdie putt. So Charles Howell III moves to 3 under par with 4 holes to play.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship, part of the season-long points race for the FedEx Cup. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update from Corrales Golf Course in the Dominican Republic.
Sepp Straka caught for a few moments, but now back in the outright lead with a bogey mistake coming in on the front for Scott Harrington at a par 5 leaves Straka alone now atop the leaderboard, 7 under after his 65. Harrington slips into what is a 4-way tie for second at 6 under par. Harrington and Hudson Swafford still on the course. Harrington finishing on the front, Swafford on the back 9 with Joseph Bramlett and China's Xinjun Zhang in early today at 6 under par, 66. Then 2 shots behind, Ricky Barnes, Cameron Percy, and Justin Sue in with early 67s. And now on the front 9, Kyle Stanley having a clean round of golf, a bogey-free day, just made his 5th birdie of the day at the 8th. He's about to wrap things up at the difficult par 3 9th, but he's gotten within 2 at 5 under as well.
Charles Howell III, 2 under par in his round through 13 holes. He has a birdie look there at the 14th. He is 2 under par. Graham McDowell, former champion, or defending champion, 2 under 70 earlier today, along with Henrik Stenson, Bryce Garnett, also a former champion, former FedEx Cup champion Bill Haas at 2 under, as well as Will Zalatoris. Out on the golf course right now, Puntacana Resort ambassador Emiliano Grillo, even through 13 holes, as is Charlie Hoffman.
Corn Ferry Tours in the largest city in Kansas this week, as the path of the PGA Tour is at Crestview Country Club. It's a 19th straight year and the 31st playing of the Wichita Open, supporting Wichita's youth. 3 players share the first round lead at 7 under par. Marty Doe, Jared Wolf, and Billy Tom Sargent. They're at 7 under. 2 players, 1 shot back at 6 under, Brad Hoppinger and Taylor Dixon.
Local IQ Series alternative this year for players impacted by the canceled seasons on PGA Tour's 3 international circuits. Second half of the schedule underway this week. Hidden Hills Golf Club in Jacksonville, Florida. Rowan Caron has shot back-to-back 66s, leads by 1 at 10 under par. Second round of the Jacksonville Championship. Bill Rosinski.
Well, Hudson Swafford here at 15, eyeing a birdie putt, and this is a lengthy one. Hole is in the front portion of the green, 9 up, 6 from the left. He is in the, middle left portion of the green, so going to be careful with the speed here. But on the last hole, he had an uphill putt from 40 feet away and jarred it. I mean, it was dead center for birdie. This try is down the slope, sending it out to the right, picking up speed, swinging to the left, making its way to the hole, and this is going to be just a little bit short. Ran out of steam. He's going to have inside 3 feet, and that'll be for his par here. See if he's going to finish up. Now, I'm going to put a mark on this, so Swafford not in yet, but if that goes in, he'll have 3 to go on this opening day, Thursday. He's 6 under.
Got to be careful there. That was a little bit downhill, breaking pretty hard right to left. By the way, Charles Howell III rolled in that birdie putt out at the 14th, so Howell now 3 under par.
Yeah, and I was looking at scoring early. Hudson Swafford, this 4 under back 9 right now, as well as anybody's played on the back 9. Only 3 golfers have shot 32 on that back 9, par 72, so 36 out, 36 in. One of them was the leader, Sepp Straka, who started out there at 4 under par and picked up a birdie and an eagle coming in on the front. So Swafford with that 4 birdie out of 5 hole stretch to start this back 9, playing as well as anyone so far in day 1 in the second 9.
Well, another player that's playing well, Tyler McCumber, back-to-back birdies at 2 and 3. So McCumber now 5 under. He's bogey-free. He has 6 holes remaining. He is going to finish on that front 9.
Yeah, so opportunities abound. You do get the tough par 3 at the 9th hole, but 90 golfers right now sitting under par on day 1. So if this were to keep up on Friday in round 2, it's going to be at least looking like it. Maybe a low cut this week, Bill.
Yep. What do we know? 18 under won this event 2 years in a row. Swafford now for his par, and down it goes. That was a good 2-putt from outside 35 feet here at 15, so he's 6 under. We're heading to the Devil's Elbow, the last 3 holes here on this back 9. We'll start with the par 4 16th. Swafford is 6 under.
El Codo del Diablo, the Devil's Elbow, to finish things off, and it is a stretch of golf. It's a beautiful stretch of golf coming in Oceanside, the Devil's Elbow, along the Caribbean shoreline, but it is devilish. You have to be careful, even though, for the most part, early and late, Carney, 18 in that Devil's Elbow has been a birdie opportunity for many players coming in or making the turn there.
Sounds like a great menu item that would be on the club menu at the restaurant.
Give me the El Codo del Diablo, please. Yes, it does. It's a great name, and it's a great stretch, and a beautiful stretch. I mean, a lot of folks are going to get to see this course if they're watching some of the TV coverage, some of the highlights online at PGAtour.com. Getting a first glimpse at it this week. It's a beautiful course, and it's a beautiful day. A warm one, but a beautiful one, and good scoring today, Will.
A little more comfortable now. Breeze coming off the Caribbean helps when you're by the holes on the property that are near the water. Scott Harrington needed something to cool him off after the bogey at the 7th. Dropped it back to 6 under. Beautiful tee ball right down the middle of the fairway at the 8th. Fairway runs out with a little inlet of the ocean right in front of him. We'll come over that inlet of the sea to a back left hole location. Harrington trying to get that shot right back since it's on a very aggressive line just outside right. Pulls the string right past his divot just outside of 10 feet for a bounce back birdie for Scott Harrington here at 8.
Kyle Stanley at the 9th for birdie from 15 feet, just outside of that. And it curls around the right side of the hole and just misses for Kyle Stanley. Nice effort there at the par 3 9th. And he'll have a couple of feet left to post 5 under par 67, Kyle Stanley.
Yeah, it looked like the wind may have got a hold of that one there, Kevin, and pushed that. But a little bit of work left for Kyle, but a great start.
Yeah, and another, it looks like bogey-free round. So, what does it take to be in contention here, at least on day 1? It's going to take not only making a lot of birdies, keeping it clean helps, and it looks like that's going to be a bogey-free 5 under 67 for Kyle Stanley in the afternoon.
You gotta love playing golf, Furrow, where the waves crashing up, kind of like Pebble Beach. But I think they may crash up here a little more than they do at Pebble Beach, and just great playing golf when you're on a course that has that certainly beautiful shoreline there.
Goes back to 2010. This Tom Fazio designed Corrales Golf Course, ranked annually among the top 10 courses in the Caribbean and in Mexico, and third straight year now hosting an event on the PGA Tour, even though it's in a different place. This was one of the events pushed back by the March cancellation, so being played early in this first portion, the fall portion of the wraparound FedEx Cup season. Kevin?
At the 15th, Charles Howell III just played his approach shot and didn't quite make the surface, playing into the breeze, and the whole location to the front of the green. Both he and actually Pat Perez are both short, but puttable golf balls. We'll see if they like to putt or to chip from just on the apron of the putting surface at the 15th hole.
Right now, the early 65 on the board by Sepp Straka is still holding up. Was caught for a moment by Scott Harrington, but Straka now with that one-shot lead again at 7 under pars. We continue PGA Tour radio coverage from the Dominican Republic, opening round of the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship.
Well, it's been a day to make some birdies. The first round of the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship as it leads 7 under par. 2 players have just completed their first round at 5 under par. Kyle Stanley made his par putt from inside of 5 feet at the 9th hole to card it bogey-free 67 5 under par. And David Hearn finished birdie on 17 and 18. David Hearn is in the house at 5 under par.
Well, how about that? Getting a couple in the devil's elbow there for David Hearn coming in. And, yeah, 18 has been a birdie opportunity today on that finishing stretch, and he makes one more. Before that, 17 and 18. So a good finish there on the back nine, which has been the more difficult for scoring. Mark Carnevale, but we've seen some players now here in the last, hour or so get on some runs here on the back nine.
I think the help there at 18 is the kind of a helping wind a little bit off the left. So that players can kind of play over that dog leg, the devil's dog leg there, Earl, and obviously leaving themselves a much shorter shot into that hole, which, again, plays over 500 yards. Again, that's an advantage, and you got to take advantage of it. You got to execute a good shot in order to do that. But I would think that's part of the reason why we're seeing guys take advantage of that hole.
And I'm going to call this right now. Late on Sunday, we got to get a little Van Halen running with the devil going at some point in this finishing stretch, Will Haskett.
You know, I was looking at the 18th in the yardage book, and then yesterday when I got on property, Earl, and I thought to myself, a week after watching when Bryson DeChambeau did at the U.S. Open, I would love to see him in this field. I think he'd go ahead and have a go at the green. About a 350-yard cover. Scott Harrington did not earlier today, but is in the midst of a great round, looking for a bounce-back birdie here at the par 4 8th. Outside of 10 feet, this ball will hook from his right to left, staring right back at the Caribbean Sea. Strokes it right at the cup. It's now turning over hard to the left-hand side, and it stays on its line and down. That's how you put a circle on the card off of the lost ball at the 7th. Immediately responds with a birdie here at 8, and Harrington returns to 7 under.
Yeah, it shows that the player's in a good spot there, a good place there, Earl. The fact that he's able to bounce back from, it was a mistake there by hitting a way off line at the par 5, but he just kind of regrouped, but he hit a couple good shots. And now you make a birdie and you're back to 7 under.
Yeah, can't do anything about the last one. All you can handle is the next one, and that next hole coming off the disappointing 6 at the 7th. Makes it 3 at the 8th hole, and that's where Sepp Straka made his final birdie of his round of 65 coming in. So one more to play, and it's not an easy one coming in at the 9th for Scott Harrington now, hoping to stay in that share of the lead at 7 under.
Yeah, that par 4 9th. It's a hole that today it's playing a little bit easier. It's only 183 today. Again, it can play upwards of 200 yards, as all 4 of the par 3s can play here. At
the devil's elbow, that finishing stretch, 7, 16, 17, and 18 at Corrales Golf Course for the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship. To Bill Rosinski.
Well, here at the 16th, we had trouble for all the players here except Hudson Swafford. His tee shot in the middle of the fairway. C.T. Pan and Kevin Toy, it took him a long time to get out of trouble right. So then Hudson Swafford finally hit his second shot, and he yanked it to the left. He's got maybe 15 yards off the green to the left. He's in the rough, but it shouldn't be all that difficult a chip shot. Plenty of green to work with here, but he'll have to make an up and down to stay 6 under par. We're at the par 4 16th.
Well, the devil's elbow jumping up there, and while we've had 18 be seemingly a birdie opportunity for a lot of players, Carney, that's why there's trouble there, that stretch coming in alongside the Caribbean.
It is, and it's about controlling your golf shots, and whether it's your distance or flighting them, and you just have to make sure you hit it solidly, and it's if it's not a good number, then you adjust to it. But again, it's easy to lose focus there with the beautiful shoreline.
Well, now you better focus back up again, too. You don't want to cost yourself any shots coming in. That stretch today, 16 out of the 3, the par 4 at 16, has been the more difficult of the 3 holes. 22 bogeys and a double there today. 17, there have been more doubles, 6 of them, but a few more birdies, and then 18, 31 birdies now at the finishing hole. Bill?
All right, Hudson Swafford now, 3rd shot here at 16. Wedge in hand, pops it in the air, and it'll land on the green. That's got to go. Release, and that runs out of steam well before it gets within maybe 15 feet of the hole. It's probably 20 feet now for Hudson Swafford. That's going to be a par putt. He has not struggled at all on this back nine until this hole. Remember, he birdied 4 of the first 5 on this back nine to get it to 6 under, and he's going to have to make a lengthy par putt to stay there here at 16.
Well, he's made one big one here on the back nine already from off the green that has kept this round going, and part of his great back nine, a 4-under back nine so far, playing as well as anybody in this second nine. But you get to the devil's elbow, Carney, and that's got a name for a reason.
Well, you got to avoid that. Maybe it's certainly you want to avoid that, and I think it's maybe you want to stay more towards his leg instead of his elbow, or maybe his kneecap.
Tricky one coming up for him to salvage a par and keep this going. 32's on the back nine. There's only been 3 players shoot 32 on the tougher nine today, and one of those 3 was Straka, the leader, who started there today and finished on the front. 7 under 65 for him. Scott Harrington, the other co-leader, is going to be coming in on the front. He's trying to finish birdie. We could have a new leader in a moment with Harrington eyeing up a birdie try coming in at the 9th hole. And Swafford, who got this move going, really, round not going much in his favor early. He was even through 6, bogeyed the 6th hole after an early birdie, then birdied 7 and 8, made the turn, and birdied 4 the first 5 on that back nine. Now trying to avoid another drop shot at 16, Kevin.
Tyler McCumber continues his outstanding round, an eagle at the par 5 4th hole. So Tyler McCumber now is 7 under par as he heads to the par 4 5th hole. So plenty of holes to play left here for Tyler McCumber, and he's currently 7 under.
We were trying to figure out earlier, the balance of scores, who's had it better. I mean, I'd say it's pretty even right now. I mean, obviously you've got a few guys, more guys, at least in the morning, maybe finished at 5 under than there are now. But Danny McCarthy now just birdied the 7th hole. He got it to 5 under. So I'd say it's pretty even as far as morning and afternoon.
That's lucky number 7, 7th eagle of the day at number 4, and 7 under for Tyler, Bill.
All right, let's see if Hudson Swafford can make another big putt here, a long one. This is for par. We're at 16, the par 4. And this is just outside 20 feet. And this to stay at 6 under par. Hit the middle of the fairway here, but then tugged his second shot left. Now for the save to the cup, and buries it in the front door again. Hudson Swafford rolling the rock here on the back nine. That's a good par. That's a 4 on the card. Days -6.
Now to the front nine, Scott Harrington, one of our co-leaders for a closing birdie, Will.
Yeah, he's been taking a lot of time surveying the line here, Earl. Had to watch both players in front of him hit a couple of shots. Well, at least one, Brendan DeYoung's going to struggle here to make at least a bogey. It's given Harrington plenty of time to both focus on the task at hand and also take in the sights and the sounds around him. Just kind of sat and watched the water for a few minutes, calmed his thoughts, then got right back into the routine. Uphill putt. Maybe it's gotten inside of 10 feet after what I called it off the tee. And can be aggressive with the pace, and the line is pretty easy to read as well. Should move ever so slightly from right to left. Almost the identical putt he just made at the 8th. Harrington looking at a spot down the line now, back at the golf ball. Takes the putter back, strokes it on its way. It started left, it's staying left, it hangs left. He can't believe it, but that ball looked like from where he was lined up, he started a full cup left of his intended line. Well, birdie at the 8th coming in, but the bogey at 7 stings. That miss doesn't feel good either, but it's still a fantastic start for Scott Harrington. A 7 under par 65.
Yeah, it's all about the start. Again, the mental mistake back at the 7th, but able to bounce back that way. And yeah, disappointed you don't convert that one, but still a great start, great opening round for a guy. Again, he's looking for his best finish on the PGA Tour, and certainly a win on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, and Scott Harrington, one of those rookies last year on the PGA Tour, had a terrific season. He was one of 8 to qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs, ended the season number 98 in the FedEx Cup standings, and off to a great start already. Had 62 in this event, 2016, one of the record 18-hole scores back when it was a Korn Ferry Tour event, and not quite that low, but nothing wrong with a share of the lead on a Thursday. Scott Harrington in with our second 65 of the day.
Absolutely not. We'll keep repeating it. Again, you can't win golf tournaments on Thursday. You just get yourself in position, and you want a chance to win on Sunday. And it certainly helps to get off to a great start. And, of course, you always like to lead a golf tournament, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter until late Sunday afternoon.
And Harrington's got the lead right now, a co-lead, a three-way tie now with the two in, and Straka and Scott Harrington with 65s, and now coming in on the front. And my goodness, he's got a bunch of holes to play, doesn't he? Mark's son, Tyler McCumber, making a big move. Good start to the day on the back nine, birdie 3 of his first 4. And now he's on the easier of the 2 nines on a run of birdie, eagle to get a piece of the lead, Kevin.
And Pan Perez found the middle of the fairway at the 16th and middle hole location. Charles Howell III played from the left rough and came up just short of the putting surface towards the right side, and there's a swell there in the middle of the green, and the ball is swallowed by that swell and off the putting surface for Pat Perez. That's a miscue there, trying to turn it over right to left, and now have to get up and down to remain 2 under.
And just, got to be careful, though. But again, you're going to make mistakes, and you just have to make sure you get the ball up and down.
For the day, it's a par 72. We started on early with the first wave of players on their second nine, some just wrapping up. Scoring average was more than a shot and a half under par. It's slowly gotten tougher as the day goes on. Carney, things warm up, and obviously maybe the Caribbean breezes take effect. We're down to 70.88, so just about a shot under par right now. That number has been getting tougher and tougher as the day's gone on.
Well, these guys still, 74 players at 2 under par or better. That number has increased from when we last checked it earlier. I think it's certainly possible. Maybe not as many players getting it under par or as far under par as the morning wave, but again, you need to make birdies if you sit there and you finish. And right now, 75 players at 2 under par or better, and with 65 players and ties making the cut. If you're a player that's kind of around those numbers, you figure you got to get to 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5 under par to play the weekend.
Yeah, early wave scoring average was 70.49, so a shot and a half under par, Bill.
Hudson Swafford on the tee here at 17. We're in the middle of the Devil's Elbow. 186 is the number that they're playing this hole today. 6 up 4 from the left. C.T. Pan teed off first. He had a beauty. He landed it just shy of the green, and it kicked up onto the putting surface, and he's just a hole high left to have a good look for birdie. Swafford been, he made that some 40 feet away. I made for birdie at 14, and on the last hole, in that 20-foot range for a par save. And tee shot away here at 17. Wind blowing from the golfer's right, trying to talk to the golf ball. It didn't listen. That's going to crawl in the bunker. There is one bunker here. It guards the front left, and that's where he is. He'll have to make an up and down for a sand save to stay 6 under.
Yeah, a little bit, struggling a little bit to finish, but Hudson Swafford, again, a player that's playing on a major medical extension, needs to have some good events to kind of retain his fully exempt status, but in good position there.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship from Corrales Golf Course in the Dominican Republic. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update brought to you by MasterCard. Tap and go with your MasterCard, the simple, secure way to pay.
Our lead is at 7 under, 1 in early with the 65, 1 now in the afternoon. Sepp Straka posted the number in the first wave today. Scott Harrington caught him with a 7 under 65 a short time ago. They share the lead with Tyler McCumber, who still has 5 holes to play on the front nine. He's gone birdie, eagle at 2, 3, and 4 to make it a 3-way tie at -7. 1 back, Joseph Bramlett, Shinjun Zhang, they're in, and then Hudson Swafford, 1 back with a couple of holes to play in the back nine, tied for 4th at 6 under par. 1 player on the course right now, -5. Denny McCarthy with 2 to play in the front. He's tied for 7th with David Hearn, Kyle Stanley, Justin Sue, Cameron Percy, and Ricky Barnes all in with 67s. They are 2 shots back.
Charles Howell III is 3 under through 15 holes, but he's got work left at that difficult par 4 16th to stay at 3 under par. Earlier today, Graham McDowell, Henrik Stenson, Bryce Garnett, Bill Haas, and Will Zalatoris all shot 2 under par 70s. And the ambassador for the Puntacana Resort and Club, Emiliano Grillo, 2 under through 15 holes. And our John Rollins, member of our broadcast team, he is 1 over through 14 holes.
And this week, the path of the PGA Tour is at Crestview Country Club in Kansas for the Wichita Open, supporting Wichita's youth. It's one of 4 original tournaments still remaining from the 1990 launch of the Corn Ferry Tour. And Marty Doe shares the lead along with Jared Wolf and Billy Tom Sargent at 7 under par. 3 players are 1 shot back at 6 under, including Brad Hopfinger, Taylor Dixon, and Brandon Harkins.
And the local IQ series is an alternative for players impacted this year by the canceled seasons on the PGA Tour's 3 international circuits. Second half of the schedule getting underway this week. It's round 2 today at Hidden Hills Golf Club in Jacksonville for the Jacksonville Championship. Rowan Caron leads it 10 under par, back-to-back rounds of 66, with Leandro Morelli and Scott Wolf's tied for second, 9 under and 1 shot back. Well, this is one of 26 golf courses in the Dominican Republic. The Corrales Golf Course, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, for the Corrales Punta Cana Resort and Club Championship, with this course yielding some low scores. It looks like both early and late. 3 now tied at 7 under, Bill.
All right, Hudson Swafford, bunker shot here at 17, about 12 feet of green to work with. That lands right near the flag and then releases past it. That seemed to come out a little thin and runs past the hole some. That's outside 12 feet, so that's going to be another tough par putt for him. He's made 1 on the last to stay 6 under. He's going to have to do it again here at 17.
Yeah, tough to put that much stress on you trying to finish off a round, and I would be surprised. Certainly, hope they make it, but I would be surprised if Hudson does not drop a shot.
Charles Howell III to remain 3 under, strokes the ball, turning right towards the cup, and he made it. It was below the hole, just to the left in the 10-foot range, and he made it, curled in at the end. Quality putt there for Charles Howell III to remain 3 under with 2 to play.
And another player, and there have been a bunch today keeping it clean. So Charles Howell III, no drop shots, a few birdies to keep pace on a good scoring day 1 with 3 tied at 7 under par, 3 more now at -6, and 2 of those 3 tied for the lead out in the afternoon. So it was Sepp Straka by himself after the 65 early. Scott Harrington just posted his 65 a few minutes ago, and I guess we're going to see what Tyler McCumber can do coming in on the front 9, Carney. With the way scoring is on the front 9, you do have that par 3 finish. 9th, you got to be careful, but I mean, a bunch of holes to play for him. He's got a great chance to maybe jump in front here late in round 1. Kevin, back to you.
Pat Perez for a scramble par at 16 from 5 feet, strokes the ball and smoothly puts it in the center and plucks it out of the bottom. So Pat Perez will remain 2 under with 2 to go. Let's go back to Bill Rosinski.
All right, Kevin, let's see if Hudson Swafford can make another lengthy par putt. He did on the last hole. And now here at 17, the par 3. Just outside 12 feet. He is hole higher right. He got a front left hole location here. Putt's on the way, making its way to the cup. Has a chance to fall. It does. He made another one. Wow. Boy, the flat stick has been good either from long birdie range or medium par range. That's another great par putt for Hudson Swafford. He's got 1 to go here on Thursday, and he's 6 under.
Well, that is great. I mean, I'm surprised at that. It's tough to obviously make the first one, but then to make another one on top of it, Earl, that's pretty impressive.
Well, we've seen from him since we were able to pick him up, Carney, he's made everything so far with the putter, and that's the story on the back 9 for Hudson Swafford, making a run and look, keeping himself right there with a chance maybe for 1 more birdie now coming in to get one at 18, like a lot of players have, to get him to 7 under.
Well, the question is, can you keep it up? And, he's looking for his second win on the PGA Tour, but also he's looking for those 105 FedEx Cup points to get himself fully exempt, again, as he's playing on a medical extension. If you look at Hudson's putting, his strokes gained putting from last season, I mean, it's, 106, or I should say this season, 164th, and a year ago, he was 69th, so maybe not as good putting this season, but those were 2 good putts in a row and great putting today in this opening round.
Yeah, leaning on it, and he's made a bunch here down the stretch, and it's part of his great start to the back 9. Birdies at 10 and 11. We've discussed all day so far the middle stretch of golf. If you're teeing off on the front nine. 9, 10, and 11, a difficult stretch. Still 3 of the 4 toughest holes of the day, and that kind of kick-started things for Hudson Swafford. Made the turn and birdie 10 and 11 very quickly, and then added 2 more at 13 and 14. And for him, it's been a terrific back and club championship. Of course, baseball huge in the DR, the Dominican Republic. About 40% of all major league players come from this place, the Dominican Republic. Such stars as Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, David Ortiz, Sammy Sosa, and the new sensation, young Nat star, the childish